want your Jason to look like this? Well, I hope so, because that was me in that clip, and I'm going to be the one trying to teach you this character. Starting off with perks, me personally, I like to go with Resurrection because in my opinion, Monstrous Sidestep is actually a disadvantage because your opponent is just going to know to attack right behind them. I'm then going to go with Snowball Effect because that just adds on to the ridiculous amount of damage that Jason already does. Speed Force Assist to try to counter the fact that Jason is complete combo meat, and then I always like to go with Pugilist. The first thing I want to talk about with Jason are his two very useless moves. We have Neutral A. I literally do not see a point for this move. And then we have Neutral Air, which is just A in the air. Neutral, which is this. It's garbage because it knocks forward. It does barely any knockback. There is actually no point to this move in my eyes. What should you do in neutral with Jason? Well, the first thing I want to talk about here is Jason's up special. It is an axe command grab with a ridiculous amount of range. As you can see, it reaches very far. This is good for characters against like Bugs Bunny, someone who is always going to be jumping around because the range is just so good and it'll go through things like Bugs Bunny safe. It's not only an excellent edge guarding tool, but it's also just a great tool if you're trying to maintain control of the ground because the range is so good. No, it doesn't do a stupid amount of damage, but it does enough chip damage, which is really your goal in neutral for Jason, is just get your opponent to about 90 health. Next up, let's talk about Jason's neutral special in the air. This move is not that good in my opinion, but you can occasionally land it as a mix-up if you are able to consistently scare your opponent with your down special in the air, which in my opinion is an extremely good move because what it does if you touch the ground is it dashes towards your opponent with a machete, and the hitbox is pretty good. A lot of the times your opponents are not going to expect it, especially if you catch them off guards with the forward air all game, which is the next thing I want to talk about in neutral. Jason's forward air. It's extremely good. It does great knockback. You can occasionally string it into itself like you just saw. I have Shaggy set to dodge after being hit because I now want to show you some of the most ridiculous strings in the game. Some strings that make Jason go from a absolutely awful character to a pretty good one. If you can learn these strings, your neutral game with Jason will actually be pretty strong off of these alone. For starters, we have down air into forward air. It does 25 damage. It is very easy to do. We can also go down air into up air. We can also go down air into up special. Next up, we have jab, jab into flash step. It does a whopping 20 damage and a ridiculous amount of knockback. We'll definitely be speaking about this combo again in a second, but it's absolutely ridiculous for neutral. If we put everything together, this is what your neutral game should look like with Jason. Maybe we go forward air into up special, into down special, into up special. You know, we can juggle. We can literally do whatever we want with this character. Maybe we even go with the jab, jab, flash step. And he's all gone. Jason's neutral is absolutely insane. Yes, he is combo meat, but he's a very high risk, high reward character. Let's talk Jason's recovery, an area that you are definitely going to assume that he is lacking in, and while you're not really wrong by saying that, his recovery isn't the worst because first of all we have the side B, which let's not forget about the monstrous hitbox that the actual attack part of the side B does, so you can use that near the ledge. We also have the up B, which if you're jumping off the wall, let's say your opponent's trying to spike you, you're definitely going to hit that up B. It has a ridiculous hitbox and great range. Don't get me wrong, this definitely isn't a character that you want to be off stage with, but in the off chance that you are, you have a lot of good ways of getting back. His recovery isn't really the worst. Would I rather have Jason's recovery than Finn's? Probably not, but Jason's recovery is not absolutely unbearable. Now, finally, what I've been waiting to talk about since the beginning of this video, what brings Jason all the way from a super low tier to almost a high tier character in my books. It is this guy's kill potential. It is absolutely ridiculous, and there are so many options to go over here. First of all, as we mentioned earlier, the down air into the up B. It is not a true combo when your opponent is at high percentages, but it does kill, and you will get a lot of kills doing this move, especially if you wait out when your opponent is going to air dash. As you can see, it is killing Shaggy at 95 health. Now, we have his up smash, the bed move, which is good because it hits from both angles, just like Jake's the dog's up. No, it does not kill, especially early, but it's always nice to have an option, especially when you have the up B follow-up after. I almost think Jason's up B is comparable to Harley Quinn's up B. Probably not as good, but it is still ridiculous, and it kills pretty early. We have down tilt into forward tilt, which is not your best option, but it definitely is a possibility and it's nice to have. We have forward tilt in general, which is going to knock your opponent into the air, and then you can potentially land an up B. You can potentially land a up tilt into up B. There is so many options with this guy, man. Now, I know you were waiting for me to talk about this at one point in the video, and I decided to do it when we're talking about kill options. We have Jason's neutral special, which is going to provide him with this gray health, which is also going to power up his next attack. This is absolutely ridiculous for getting eliminations because, as you can see, I just killed Shaggy with a single forward tilt at 95 health. That is absolutely absurd. As we mentioned earlier, down air into forward air does 25 damage. With Jason's power up, it will do a total of 37 damage. So is it worth inflicting damage upon yourself to do that bonus damage? That is up to you. What kind of Jason player do you want to be? Me personally, I only use that power up when it comes to getting eliminations. Is that a bad thing to do? Probably. It's completely up to you though. It's preference. Do what you want. If you want to take damage, let's remember that Jason is going to be an extremely heavy character, so Shaggy is going to take damage a lot worse than Jason. Finally, I want to hop into Jason and apply all the techniques that I just told you because I know a lot of the ways that I described things might have been a little overwhelming and confusing. Let me show you what I believe a pretty optimized Jason is looking like at this time. At the start of my match, I'm almost always going to do a forward air just to feel out the range of my opponent. And really, that is what I'm going to do a lot of the time is forward air. I think up special is absolutely amazing. I probably should not have done that. And then I'm going to be looking to get a very early kill, which is what is going to happen when you're doing Jason. Using Jason, it's actually harder to talk and play than you would expect, man. All right, so we're going to go forward air, up tilt because I know he's going to jump forward air. Uh-oh. We're going to look to land a down air. It's not really going to happen. All right, Harley's at about 51 health, and believe it or not, this is kill health for Jason. As you can see, with the jab into flash step, you are going to get extremely early eliminations. We're going to use that range on the up special to go ahead and try to predict when this guy is going to jump. Recovery is where we are going to probably perish, or no, we're good. Jab, flash step, he's at 18 health. If we can hit him right there with a forward air, he could potentially die. I completely forgot we have resurrection. That's another reason resurrection is good. As you can see, it's going to get rid of Harley Quinn's balloon there. You know, we can do that against, you know, things like Banana Guard when they're trying to set up after they get an elimination and whatnot. I'm going to go up B here because I know he's going to jump. I'm going to go jab, flash step because he's at 92, and that's all she wrote. This is an extremely fun character to play, and I hope that my tutorial could help y'all out in some way. If you want more MultiVersus content, hit the subscribe button and please leave a like. It would help me out a lot.